It was said to him, "Ah now, but a little while before, you were in a state of rebellion, and you were inflicting oppression and violence. And so this day, we have decided that we shall save you in your body, we shall preserve your dead body, so that your dead body when it reappears in history, may be a sign for those who come after you. But verily, most among mankind are heedless of our signs." Quran, Yunus 10:92. "But when they continued to challenge us, we inflicted our retribution on them, and drowned them all. And we made them a thing of the past and an ominous example for those to come after them." Quran al-Zukhruf 43:55-6. And so the Quran made the amazing prophecy that the dead body of the Pharaoh of the Exodus would one day be discovered. And that when it was discovered, that would constitute a most ominous divine sign. Amazingly, the body of that Pharaoh was discovered close to the end of the last century. It was an even more ominous sign for the Jews that the Zionist movement was also established at just about the same time that the body of Pharaoh was discovered. It is clear that Dajjal, the false Messiah, was the mastermind behind the creation of the Zionist movement, and so the age of Gog and Magog was also the age of Dajjal. The implication of the above is that the Jews were now being led by Dajjal, the false Messiah, and by Gog and Magog, on a path which would witness the worst possible punishment being unleashed against them, and which would culminate with divinely ordained destruction. But the end would come upon them in the same way that the end came to Pharaoh. What would be that end? The discovery of the body of Pharaoh was a momentous sign from Allah Most High that the world would now witness the greatest drama ever enacted in human history. Time was now up for the Jews in particular, and for all of mankind in general. Those who lived like Pharaoh would now die the way Pharaoh died. 10. Jews will have no alternative but to believe in Jesus as the Messiah when he returns, but it would then be too late to save them from punishment and hellfire. After the Quran narrated the event in which the Jews attempted to have Jesus alayhi al-salam crucified, and then boasted that they had achieved their goal, Allah Most High delivered the most ominous of warnings. The Jews who rejected Jesus alayhi al-salam as the Messiah and Christians who worshipped him as God were informed that they would have to believe in him Jesus before he experienced maut, that is, after he returns and before he dies. Thus, Jews would have to believe in him as the Messiah, and Christians would have to cease worshipping him as God and recognize him as a prophet. And there is none of the people of the book but must believe in him before his death, and on the day of judgment he will be a witness against them. Quran al-Nisa 4-159. The above verse indicated that when Jesus alayhi al-salam returned, the Jews would not only recognize and confirm their faith in him as the Messiah, but would also, by implication, recognize and confirm their faith in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as the final prophet sent by the God of Abraham, and the Quran as the final divine revelation. But this last-minute affirmation of faith on the part of Jews would be of no benefit to them in the same way that his last-minute affirmation of faith was of no avail for Pharaoh. He was still condemned to the hellfire. That is the ominous message to the Jews that has emerged in consequence of the recovery of Pharaoh's body. The further implication, crucial for the proper understanding of the historical process, as the world moves to the moment of the final grand climax, is that the Jews, as well as non-believers, would remain absolutely convinced, up to the very last moment, prior to that grand climax, that they are on the path of success. And so, the divinely ordained profile for the truth Islam in the world in the last age is one in which external observation increasingly indicates that Islam has failed. That is precisely the world today. Jerusalem in the Quran, by Imran N. Hossein. Part 1. Chapter 13. The Quran and the Destiny of Jerusalem. But if ye revert to your violation of the condition imposed for inheritance of the Holy Land, we shall revert to our punishments, that is, you will be expelled again and again. Quran, Banu Israel, 17-8. Prophet Muhammad said, prophethood will last among you as long as Allah wishes it to last, and then Allah will raise it. Afterwards, there will be the Khilafah, according to the ways of the prophethood. As long as Allah wishes to last, then Allah will raise it. Afterwards, there will be hereditary rule by consent, and it will last as long as Allah wishes. Then Allah will raise it. Afterwards, there will be biting oppression, and it will last as long as Allah wishes. Then Allah will raise it. Afterwards, there will be a Khilafah according to the ways of prophethood. And then the Prophet was silent. Musnad, Ahmad bin Hanbal. After punishing the Jews by expelling them from the Holy Land for a second time, Allah Most High declared His intention to keep on punishing them if they kept on desecrating the Holy Land, with violations of the condition of faith and righteous conduct. But if ye revert to your violation of the condition imposed for inheritance of the Holy Land, we shall revert to our punishments. That is, you will be expelled again and again. Quran, Banu Israel 17-8. The destiny of Jerusalem is plainly written in the above warning in the Quran. Regardless of agreements negotiated between the secular nationalist representatives of the Palestinian people and the secular nationalist European Jewry, who presume to represent the Israelite seed of Abraham alayhi al-salam. Banu Israel, the destiny of Jerusalem is plainly visible in the context of the godlessness, decadence, and oppression now polluting the Holy Land. The most extraordinary is the state of godlessness and the abandonment of the religious way of life. A recent editorial in the Jerusalem Post has this to say: for too many Israelis, the most extraordinary is the state of godlessness and the abandonment of the religious way of life. A recent editorial in the Jerusalem Post has this to say: for too many Israelis, and even a source of embarrassment for an intellectually oriented modern society. Jerusalem Post, September 12, 2000. Among the divine signs shown to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam during his miraculous visit to Jerusalem was revealed to him the destiny of Jerusalem. Not surprisingly, this matter seems to have escaped the attention of Daniel Pipes, who, like so many other Jews, seems not to hear the stones of the Intifada that have already begun to speak in the Holy Land. The Quran has clearly established a destiny of Jerusalem that would witness Muslims resuming their rule over Jerusalem, which began shortly after the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and continuing uninterruptedly for a few hundred years. When the Euro-Christian Crusaders conquered Jerusalem, they were allowed a brief rule of about 80 years before the destiny of Jerusalem prevailed. A Muslim army defeated the Crusaders, and the rule of Muslims over the Holy Land was resumed. Again, it continued uninterruptedly for a few hundred years, until when, by divine plan, the Jews were to be brought back to the Holy Land. It is hardly likely that the present Jewish rule would last for more than 80 years, and Allah knows best. A Muslim army will then defeat the Jews, and Muslim rule will be restored. Allah Most High declared as much when He spoke in the Quran. Allah has promised to those among you who believe in Islam and are righteous in conduct that He will surely cause them to inherit the land, the Holy Land, as He granted it to those before them, the Jews, that He will establish their religion, Islam, in authority in the Holy Land, the religion which He has chosen for them. See Quran, Al-Ma'idah 5-3, and that He will change their state after the fear in which they live to one of security and peace. They will worship Me alone and not associate aught with Me. If any do reject faith after this, they are rebellious and wicked. Quran, Al-Nur 24-55. When the Quran referred to the state of fear in which the believers live, it must surely include the present awesome Israeli oppression in the Holy Land. The Quranic verse also makes clear that the only Muslims who will participate in the coming inheritance of the Holy Land are those who worship Allah alone and who do not commit shirk. The Plo has no part of that community of those who remain faithful to Allah Most High. This promise of the Quran is also confirmed by the Prophet alaihi al-salam in the following hadith. Abu Hurairah reported that the Prophet alaihi al-salam said, "Black banners shall emerge from Khurasan, an area which is now included in Afghanistan, Pakistan, and a little in Iran and Central Asia. And no force will be able to stop them until they are inserted in Elia Jerusalem. Sunan Tirmidhi. The Quran also provides the moral justification for that armed struggle. The God of Abraham himself declared that he has authorized warfare for the purpose of responding to oppression, which witnesses a people being driven out of their homes and out of the land in which they live, for no just cause other than that they are Muslims. To those against whom war is made, permission is given to fight, because they are wronged, and verily, Allah is most powerful for their aid. They are those who have been expelled from their homes in defiance of right, for no cause except that they say, "Our Lord is Allah." Quran, Al-Hajj, 22, 39-40. It is the destiny of Jerusalem that a Muslim army will destroy the state of Israel, and the Messiah Jesus, the son of Mary, will then rule over mankind from Jerusalem as a just ruler. Jesus, the Messiah alayhi al-Salam, would rule the world from the Islamic State that would be established in the Holy Land at that time, and in place of the impostor Zionist Jewish state of Israel. It is also the destiny of Jerusalem that before the above can occur, the Jewish state of Israel must become the ruling state of the world. Israel will rule over the world for a period of a day that would be like a week. At the end of that period, the false Messiah would then himself appear with his day like our day. At that time, the water in the Sea of Galilee would have dried up. Dajjal would rule the world from Jerusalem, and so fulfill his mission of impersonating the true Messiah. After Dajjal appears in person, it is then that Imam al-Mahdi will appear. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke about this event in the following hadith. Prophet Muhammad said, "Prophethood will last among you as long as Allah wishes it to last, and then Allah will raise it. Afterwards, there will be the Khilafah according to the ways of the prophethood. As long as Allah wishes to last, then Allah will raise it. Afterwards, there will be hereditary rule by consent, and it will last as long as Allah wishes, then Allah will raise it. Afterwards, there will be biting oppression, and it will last as long as Allah wishes, then Allah will raise it. Afterwards, there will be a Khilafah according to the ways of prophethood." And then the Prophet was silent. Musnad Ahmad bin Hanbal. Dajjal would attack the Imam in Damascus, and Jesus, the true Messiah, would then descend and kill Dajjal, the false Messiah. After Dajjal is killed, it would be at that time that the last of Ya'juj and Ma'juj are released, and they pass by the Sea of Galilee declaring, "There used to be water here." Ya'juj and Ma'juj would pursue Jesus the Messiah to a mountain in Jerusalem, and Allah would command Jesus to climb the mountain. Ya'juj and Ma'juj would then boast that they have killed those who are on earth, and they now turn to kill those who are in the heavens. They shoot their arrows up into the sky, and Allah allows the arrows to return with blood upon them. Jesus the Messiah would then pray to Allah to destroy Ya'juj and Ma'juj, and Allah would destroy them with insects that attack them at the back of their necks. When Ya'juj and Ma'juj are destroyed, the dominant white world order will crumble, and the modern world of scientific and technological wonders will collapse. This book anticipates that that event is not more than another 50 years away. It is at that time that the Muslim army would emerge from Khorasan, and would then face the Jews on a level battlefield. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam declared in a hadith that is located in both Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim that Muslims would then fight the Jews. Here are his words: "You will surely fight the Jews, and you will surely kill them. And this will continue until even the stones will speak, saying, 'O Muslim, there is Jew hiding behind me, so come and kill him.'" Sahih Bukhari. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger said, "The last hour would not come unless the Muslims fight against the Jews. The Muslims would kill them until the Jews would hide themselves behind a stone or a tree, and a stone or a tree would say, 'Muslim, or the servant of Allah, there is a Jew behind me. Come and kill him.' But the tree Garkad would not say such, for it is the tree of the Jews." Sahih Muslim. It is a very simple matter indeed to eliminate those scholars of Islam who are incapable of providing true guidance in this age. They would be scholars who would never, or hardly ever, publicly quote the above hadith. The destiny of Jerusalem is such as to give to Muslims the greatest confidence and hope that truth will triumph over falsehood and oppression. Jerusalem in the Quran. By Imran N. Hossein. Part 2, Chapter 1. The Holy Land and the Political Shirk of the State of Israel. We gave Moses the book and made it a guide to the children of Israel, commanding, "Take not other than me as supreme disposer of your affairs." Quran, Banu Israel 17-2. Shirk is the worship of any other than the God of Abraham alayhi al-salam. Any corruption of that worship of that one God is also shirk. Kufr is the rejection of truth. Israel is a modern secular state located in the Holy Land. Its political system is based on political secularism. What is the religious legitimacy of such a modern secular state? When judged according to the religion of Abraham alayhi al-salam, and does such a secular state, established in the Holy Land, conform with or violate the divine conditions for inheritance of that Holy Land? This chapter attempts to answer those questions. The world order today. It is strange that in a world that still comprises many great non-European civilizations, none today has control over territory.